Hey guys, today I want to expound upon a video I've been wanting to do for a while. Everybody's trying to stretch a dollar. Totally get it. I'm doing the same thing. Most people are tired of seeing $90,000, $100,000 trucks. What I want to focus on are two solid axle heavy duty trucks that are high capability off-road trucks that are in the $60,000 range for 3/4 ton trucks. So let's dive into this. Okay, when I think about heavy duty trucks that come with high capability off-road, there's none better that comes to my mind than the Ram 2500 Power Wagon. For me, I know the Power Wagon started way back in the, 40, 50, 60, something like that. Super high capability, Jeep inspired truck back in the day for guys that are logging and just extreme off-road use. But it was super cool when they brought this thing back out in the early 2000s in a 2500 gas selectable locker off-road truck. It was basically take a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, put it on a 3/4 ton truck chassis. That was it. Heavy duty lockers, heavy duty axles, a little bit bigger tire, a little bit better suspension, sway bar disconnect, really good skid plates. This thing's legit. It's an awesome truck. But today I want to focus on the lowest cost version of the Power Wagon, the tradesman version. And I want to compare this against two other trucks that are kind of interesting. The cool thing is they're all separate. They're not exactly competing trucks, but they bring different little nuances. So for someone in the market that says, I refuse to buy a $90,000 HD off-road truck, I'll buy 60 grand is in my, wheelhouse, or $50,000 in my wheelhouse or budget. That's what we're going to focus on today. So let's dive into this. So here we go. Tradesman. You can go on Ram's website and build this yourself. It's a Ram 2500, 2024. You start with the tradesman trim. That's the key. Let's just show you how this works real quick. So we go to a tradesman, select 4-wheel drive. We select crew cab, 6'4" box. We go like this. Now, when you first get into this, it's $52,795. I'm going to scroll all the way down here, and I'm going to find the coolest option Ram has. The Power Wagon package for $7,995. To me, this is one of the best value packages for someone that is going to use their truck in any sort of off-road scenario out there in the market. For $8,000, you're getting 410 geared axles, heavy-duty selectable lockers for front and rear axle. You're getting specific shocks. You're getting a special front suspension with radius arms that they call Ram Articulate suspension. So the whole front suspension is designed different than a standard Ram 2500. Super cool. Front disconnecting sway bar so you can get more performance and articulation off-road. Some really great tires. And best of all, once you get past skid plates and all that cool stuff, factory winch built into it. Amazing. So we add all this in. Let's see how the price goes up. Boom. We're going to keep the same price. I'm not adding one option because the purpose of this is, what is the lowest MSRP price you can get into a Power Wagon? $60,790 for 2024. Now, this is a bargain because compared to some of the other trucks that are $80,000, $90,000, 60 grand is still a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. With that being said, Ram's offering such discounts. I've even heard one of my friends, we're going to be doing a video on soon with, look up Samco Workshop. Jason is a great friend of mine. Jason told me he heard you could buy one of these trucks for like 48 grand. That's incredible. That's the price of a mid-size ZR2 Colorado. Amazing in a full-size truck. But now let's compare this to what Ford brings to the table. So we go to Ford's website. This is a Ford F-250, same as the Ram, 3/4 ton truck, XLT. So what the Tremor package gets you, I'm going to show you this right here. Here's what the Tremor package gets you. The Tremor package is available XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, and Platinum. Can't get it on an XL, but here's what it gets you. The 7.3 V8, 430 electronic locking rear axle, a limited slip front axle, 35-inch Goodyear Duratrack. Very cool. You get a very unique front spring, but you also get special dampened shocks. I'm told they have almost like a dampening zone at the very end that's supposed to almost act like a bump stop inside the shock. I'm not a shock expert. I'm just kind of repeating some of the things I've heard. It's got a limited slip front differential. It's got a unique off-road running board. Very nice. We'll talk about that more in a bit. Skid plates, water fording vent tubes. So higher vent tubes for your axles and transfer case for extreme off-road. I love that. And another cool thing that Ford offers are the drive modes. That gives you really cool angles if you have a front-facing camera. It also gets you trail turn assist, I believe, on even the XLT. So I've only selected one option, Tremor package. That forces you into the 7.3. You can see here, I've got no other options selected. I haven't selected black appearance package, XLT. You can see it's got chrome bumpers. But when we go through all this, I want to kind of show you something here. Let's look at where's the interior? It's going to show here in a sec. Here we go, interior. Another thing that Ford offers that I like, it depends if you like more or not, electronic four-wheel drive actuator for transfer case, where the Ram at that level, it's going to be down on the ground. It's all what you want. Maybe mechanical might be more reliable long-term. Also, in this package, you get the bigger display, but generally speaking, very similar layout interior trucks. Grand total for this truck, $61,880. So we're at $61,880. You get a 7.3 liter Godzilla with, I think, around 450 horsepower. I got to confirm. With a 10-speed transmission, aluminum body, 35-inch tires, limited slip front axle, a selectable rear, overload capacity springs, $61,880 versus the Ram for about $1,000 less. So when you compare this, they are darn close from an MSRP perspective, but they come with different things. The Ram comes with a winch. The Ford does not, but the Ford comes with 35-inch tires. The Ram does not. The Ford also comes with chrome bumpers. The Ford also comes with an 8-inch display interior. Ford also has an aluminum body. Some people might like that. Some people might not. Now, if we wanted to add 35-inch tires to this truck, which you can do on a Power Wagon, which is super cool, you're probably looking around the $1,500 range. Okay, so then now we're almost the same price as the Ford. But then you could say, well, we should put the winch on the Ford because, you know, if you're going to try to compare, you should put a winch on a Ford, and let's see where the price on that comes at. I know it's not going to be cheap. $3,855. So now we added the winch to the Ford. It jumps it to $66,060. So you got your winch up front. Very cool. Ram's got its winch up front. Ram is $6,000 less. Okay. But now we also have $1,500 worth of tires. But then you could say, well, this isn't really a fair comparison because the Ram doesn't have chrome bumpers. The Ram also doesn't have the bigger display inside. It doesn't even have running boards. Okay, fair point. Okay, so I'm not seeing a way to add a running board from the factory on the Power Wagon, but you can kind of see, here's the picture of the interior. So you got your manual transfer case actuator, a little bit more basic gauge cluster, and obviously a more basic, just here's your comparison. Okay, I do give the Ford a pretty big nod here. But Ford has another option, the XL Off-Road. A lot of you are probably not familiar with this. What the XL Off-Road is for somebody that is wanting, maybe you work for an electrical company or you're a lineman and you kind of got to get back into some nasty two-track, but you don't really need a full Tremor off-road, but you'd like some better tires, skid plates, a locking rear differential, maybe a little bit better clearance air dam. Ford has this option. And what's cool is it's a lot cheaper, $54,550. So this truck, if we don't add the winch, it's about $6,000 less than an XLT Tremor. But what do you lose in this? Well, you're not going to have 35-inch tires. You don't have fog lights. You don't have a limited slip front differential. You also have the 6.8 liter. You don't have the 7.3. You also, here's another interesting thing. The XL Off-Road gives you 373 gears, whereas the Tremor is going to give you 430 gears. Whereas the Power Wagon is going to give you 410 gears. So what's neat about all three of these different trucks is you're literally getting three completely different type of trucks, but yet they're all 2,500 3/4 ton trucks, but offer a little bit different nuance. If you want the most ultimate off-roader, rock crawler, just an animal for rock crawling and articulation, man, I think the Ram is really hard to beat. Also, the other thing I like about the Ram, and a lot of people are not aware of this, the Ram cab is about 4 inches shorter than the Ford cab. The Ford cab, let me see if I can get a picture to show you guys. It's actually pretty substantially different. I've had both these trucks, so I can speak to it. This cab is about 4 inches longer. The other thing is the bed on the short bed Ford is about 4 inches longer. The Ford truck is overall between 8 and 10 inches longer than the Ram 2500. So if you're into some real nasty terrain and maybe you're hunting, maybe you're dirt bike, four-wheeling, snowmobiling, you're trying to get into some really nasty, thick area, I think the Ram Power Wagon is probably a more maneuverable truck off-road. But everything comes at trade-offs. The advantage to the Ford I see, besides having a longer bed and a bigger cab, is that the Ford payload and tow rating is substantially bigger. So I think you guys are going to find this really interesting. If we go into Ram 4x4 crew cab, this truck right here is it talks about crew cab 6'4" box. 1,650 pounds of payload is the max payload you'd be able to get in a Power Wagon without options. That's extremely low versus a standard truck that you're going to get a little bit higher, like in a a Ford is going to have a substantially higher payload. Now, here's the other thing I want to kind of show you guys. See this same truck? 10,610 pounds. So you got 10,600 pounds of tow rating and 1,600 pounds of payload capacity. So if you're not towing heavy, a heavy travel trailer, fifth wheel, or whatever, this might be a good truck. But generally speaking, these ratings are very similar to the Ram 1500 or Ford F-150. You're almost the exact same number. In fact, one of the Power Wagons I just looked at the other day actually had 1,350 pounds of payload. That's what a Ram RHO would be, or a TRX. So that's very light. But if you don't need the HD capability of the truck, you just want the burly off-road cool solid axle truck, this will be an okay option for you. Whereas if you go to the Ford, okay, there's our horsepower, 430 horsepower, 485 torque. Pretty similar actually to the Ram. So it's 20 horsepower less on the 6.4 and about 50 pound-feet of torque less on the 6.4 Hemi. But I'm a huge fan of the 8-speed trans. I think in the Ram is phenomenal. Ford has a 10-speed. It's not bad. When it works really great. But I do think, generally speaking, this 8-speed is super solid. The 8HP 75 is done really great. The 6.4 in the truck seems to be a little bit more solid than the 392 version of it in the SRT. I don't know if it's because that motor's pushed a little bit more, but it does seem like it's a little bit more capable for reliability. I know several people that are running this engine in 2,500s, 300,000 miles and not really having much problem. Now, this is what I want to show you guys though. Let's look at payload. Tow rating, if we look at this, you're about 16,000 pounds of tow rating. That's a lot heavier, a lot more capability for towing, 16.6 versus 10,000. And then if we go look at payload, you're looking at, you could easily be in that, this is on the high side, but you're probably going to be about 3,300 pounds. So you got 3,300 pounds versus 1,300 pounds. You're going to get literally 2,000 pounds more payload with the Ford, and you're going to get 6,000 pounds more tow rating. So my opinion with the Ford, the guy that wants off-road capability going down 2-track, but not getting real crazy off-road, having a selectable rear locker on 35s with a good departure on the front bumper, the Tremor is the truck. Where I see the 2,500 Power Wagon is the go-to is the person that's extreme off-roader, doesn't really tow that much, and wants a heavy-duty truck, needs the bed, wants solid axles. This is the truck to get. Now you might ask, why did you not include the GM truck options? Number one, I think the GM makes a great truck, but they don't have a solid front axle truck, and that's kind of what I was going after here. And secondly, the ZR2 is like, I think it starts at $77,000. So if we just go right into that, we're like $17,000 more than a Ford and like almost $18,000 or $20,000 more than the Ram. Beautiful truck, super capable. I love the ZR2. I think it's awesome, but a little different use case. I hope this video is helpful. I wanted to kind of show you the difference in specs. I am a huge fan of the Ram 2500. I think it's a phenomenal truck. I also am a big fan of the Ford Super Duty, and I'm glad that Ford is now offering kind of two versions of a budget-friendly off-road truck. You can go get this F-250 XL with a 6.8, and it's going to be an awesome, capable truck. Throw some 35s on it. Or get the Tremor, or get the Ram. I don't think you can lose. I do think at the time of doing this video here, late November 2024, the discounts on the Ram are so substantial. It's going to be really hard to not consider a Ram 2500 right now when you look at the price difference of this versus the Ford. So it'll be fun to watch. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.